Alright, so I got the lights installed. You should have seen some good shots here of me driving around the car. If you want to see how I got these lights to work on my Fusion, stick around. I've got all the footage to show you how to do it. Alright, so today I've got an idea. I wanted to try and change the fog lights on my car here to try and match the headlights. The headlights have halos in them that I installed. So as you can see, I do have the halos. Point it down a little bit. Now the fog lights do not. I still have the original halogen fog lights and it just doesn't match. So I wanted to try and upgrade. I found these lights here on Amazon for $35. And this is gonna give me a nice halo as well as LED bulbs. So let's see if I can make it work. Okay, so I'm gonna start by trying to take the bumper off. I already popped the hood. I'm gonna have to take out a few clips up here and some other clips in the bottom, as well as a few screws on the very bottom edge. Once I get that done, I will be back.
I can take you down for a ride. I take you around my life. Jaywalking, crosswalking, lip locking, but you, I know it, you know it, we make it.
Alright, so I successfully got the bumper off completely. You should have seen a time lapse now of me doing that. That's not really the point of this video, but now we've got the bumper here sitting on the floor, and I can get to the back sides of the fog lights, the original fog lights. So I did already kind of look at this. It does look like I can make this work. So let me grab the other fog light. So here's the new fog light, and here's the back side of it. So just looking at this side by side, I do think that I can make this fit. So let's try and get a nice close-up, and I will try and swap these out and see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and try and take this out. It looks like it's probably going to be a 7mm again. So grab that. Try and take this guy out. Let's see what we're left with. Okay, so there is the original. As you can see, it's all nasty and pitted. Just doesn't look very nice. So let's see how that compares. It already looks a bit smaller. Looks like I might have to enlarge the holes maybe to make this fit. But overall, actually, it doesn't look like it's that much bigger. It is definitely a little bit larger though. So let's just see how it sits. So this should be the top with these. It also says DOT up here, so I'm assuming that's the top. Let's see if we can sneak it in. I'm not taking the plastic off yet until I get it in, because I want to make sure I don't scratch it up for no reason. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to file out some of this edge here and some of this edge maybe, and see if I can get enough filed off that I can just barely slip the edge of this through here, because it's barely catching. So let's see if that'll work. Okay, so I have this now so it will fit. I did have to modify this bracket a little bit, and instead of mounting it back here, the old one, these little tabs, they actually mounted on the surface here, so that's how they lined up. The way I made this fit is it actually goes from the back side up. So I'll pull it out and show you that. This bracket was just held in with four little screws here. I don't know what the size is, but this whole bracket comes off. You can see I've got it in there right now, and I'll pop this out. So I'm gonna have a screw here and a screw down here in this corner, and that is how it's gonna hold it on. I'm gonna reuse the same screws that were there. I did have to make a new hole, but I'm still reusing the hardware. So this is a really nice tight fit, pulling this out. And looking here at the back, you can see that I had to make a few changes. So I had to notch this so the plastic tabs, since there's a piece of plastic here, this slides into it and it helps align it. The other thing I had to do was on this side. Actually, I had to do it on I did it on 3 sides. I tried not to modify this ridge here because I let it lay on that to help align it. So I'm hoping the horizon will be perfect with it lining up on these 2 spaces. On this side, there was a piece of plastic here where the screw actually screwed into it and it was raised up. So since my light is now going to lay flush on this, I had to remove that. So I used some pliers and I cut it off and then I filed that smooth. Same thing in this corner. I just cut it and filed it smooth. So it does appear to fit, and I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. I will try and take a nice close-up picture of this so you can kind of get an idea of what I had to modify, take any other pictures. The other thing I did do is I filed this edge a little bit at an angle. I took the file, I lost the file. Yeah, I lost the file, but I took the file in at an angle like this and slowly kind of tapered this edge. So this light is a little bit larger than the original one, and I just wanted to make sure that this halo would be visible from all angles. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this side together and finish up the other side and try to get this done. Alright, so I've got everything wired in now and installed. You just watched me in a time lapse probably do this one. It's all mounted nice and flush. I actually used the plastic nub as a nut on the back side here just to make sure it was tight. I cut off the connector here and made an extra adapter here. That way I can unplug this with my bumper. That way I can still remove it. So I'll probably tuck this up here. The wire, it's wired all the way over here to get power to this halo. And again, I got a spade connector there. And I decided to go ahead and cut the connector off for my fog lights just because I thought it would make it a better connection than using the original. I could have used the original ones, but I've heard complaints on the connectors for these lights not making good contact. So I wanted to avoid that. And by doing it this way, I don't have to worry about it and it should be good. So let me get this put all back together and we'll see what it looks like.